had it up to 40, because it gets scary after that. I'm Joseph Blum, came from Ripley, Ohio.
I'm Travis. This is our wonderful project.
Well, last year there was a go-kart here. It also had a 5.3 LS on it. I saw the go-kart, I'm like, well, I want to try to build that. We started, pulled it out of the weeds. It was just an old Vector go-kart that had a 6 horsepower on it. Everything, pretty much everything red is still stock, but your back's not. We had to do a drive-by belt because the centrifugal clutch that the other guy used, it couldn't handle the weight that we were trying to push with 2 people in it. The emergency brake, when you pull up on it, it puts tension on the belt, and when you release it, it's like a clutch. It's all still fuel injected. We built the wiring harness ourselves, did the tuning ourselves, has a radio and a couple fans for AC. Tried to do it as cheap as we could. Ford racing tips, Honda Civic brakes, Acura radiator, Corvette fuel pump. The front spindles are off of a trailer because the original go-kart tires were too far in for those bigger tires to fit. So we had to cut and plasma cut our own pieces to bring the wheels out, and then the trailer just so happened to work with what we were trying to make. The rear end has its own locking mechanism because with all the weight over the rear axle, we couldn't do any, the weight had to be over the rear axle because the shocks couldn't handle it. But with all the weight over the axle, you couldn't steer. With 2 people in it, the engine just outweighed us. And we actually broke 2 axles without being able to unlock and relock the differential. So there's a lever over on the far side there that you can pull, and when that's pulled, you can do wheelies, and when it's disengaged, you can drive it like normal.
Pretty much everything from here back was all custom fabricated and stuff, and it was a lot of finessing and finagling, just try to get the engine to fit right over the axle so we could balance everything out, and just trying to unload the suspension and stuff. Fairly arduous task trying to figure it all out.
We had to put half of the wheelie bar's job is to counterweight. So when it has the weight back here, it takes the weight off the front because the radiator's mounted to the go-kart and the engine's mounted to the back of the frame and the suspension's in the middle, so it has to be able to collapse there. So we had to do copper because they don't make a hose, a radiator hose that's that long, that's all rubber. So we did copper in between, but we had to do the rubber ends so that it had something to compress. Painted it all, we fabricated it all, thought of it all. We have a booklet of just pages of stuff we've drawn out, trying to figure it out.
Cardboard cutouts and crazy contraptions.
I love this event. This is by far my favorite car show, any that I've ever been to. We come here every year since I've known about it, which is last year, this year, every year after that.